What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and this one we're break down what's going on with Tesla stock, what you should be watching for moving forward. I want to talk about some very important levels on Tesla and break down some news that came out that helped Tesla pump the way it did today. I'm also going to talk about a couple of other tickers like SPY, Nvidia, and the QQQ. But before I break anything down about all this information, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so make sure you take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, in just about 5 days, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, so looking at Tesla, we had a very, very interesting day so far. We had a very nice pump in the morning, basically making our way all the way up to about 267. We pushed up, came down a little bit to retest our 50, then we pushed all the way up to like 267 before we started to sell off just a little bit with the market. But the question is, how will Tesla move going forward and what levels should you be watching for? Why did Tesla pump is the first question. The answer is first off, based off technicals. After getting a major sell-off, I did anticipate some upside, at least by the morning, a nice gap and maybe a little bit of pushing for Tesla. But then I thought in my video from yesterday, we could see some like rejections and some downside afterwards. And in the morning, I told you to watch for confirmation based off these levels before we make any moves. Not financial advice, by the way. But when I said all of that, if anything, it went a little bit higher than what I was expecting, to be honest with you all. But we did get a rejection after that, and Tesla did sell off a little bit going forward. So the question is, how will Tesla move and why is Tesla up this much? Well, the answer is Tesla had this new news that came out that the executives are holding a market entry talk with an Indian investment agency. That is once again very, very bullish news because Tesla is once again showing more and more signs of potentially opening another gigafactory in India. And in doing so, this is going to help them produce a lot more cars, take advantage of cheaper labor that's over there technically. And India has a very, very high supply of engineers who are very, very talented and very, very intelligent. That is going to be amazing for Tesla, and that can benefit them greatly as well, right? There are great engineers here in the US too. There are great engineers in China. They're all over the world, but especially in countries like the US, China, and India. India is a big hub for them as well, and that's going to be very useful for Tesla. Just wanted to call that out. Now, anyways, going forward, when it comes to the way Tesla's moving, it's currently up about 3% as of right now. But I just want to mention that the market is still weakening a bit. And as the market continues to do so, this could have an effect on Tesla. So here's some levels to watch for. Right now, Tesla's testing this 265 resistance and our 20 EMA around this 265.29 area. This is going to be our resistance right now. We're going to see if Tesla can break above this. If it manages to do so, we're going to be watching this thing make its way up to about 266. Then we have 267.03, then 268 above that. I know these levels are like in ones, but those are the levels Tesla's been respecting today. And then if we get a rejection for Tesla, as the market is once again not very strong, it's actually weakening a bit, you're going to be watching support at 264.25. That's the first support at the 50 EMA. And below that, we have our VWAP around $263.64. So very, very tight ranges for Tesla. If it breaks below VWAP, that's going to be a very bearish signal. It's going to take it all the way down to 262, if not even 260 if that breaks. But for now, we're holding above VWAP, and Tesla's showing some resilience as buyers are still present. Now, the reason why Tesla started to sell off this way is because the whole market began to weaken. It's not just because of like anything fundamental or anything that happened to Tesla. We had a bearish divergence on SPY, and I told you guys on SPY you're going to be watching this 456 resistance. If that broke, we had the potential to push up to about 458. The level I had marked right here was 457.8. We came to about 457.78, so very, very close to that. And then we got this rejection after that, trying to slow down. We saw a big sell-off to about 455 before getting a nice bounce and a retest of our 50 EMA. However, the market is still not very, very strong. We're still seeing some bearish momentum, and we're going to be watching to see if this can establish higher highs and higher lows and switch the trend. For now, it hasn't confirmed that, so we're still going to be watching support and resistance. We have VWAP at 455.9. If that fails us, you're going to be watching 455.6 and then 455 flat. And if we break below 455, the next major support, we have some support at 455.5, but also 454 is going to be major support below that. So we're going to be watching those levels very, very carefully. And for now, SPY is still not looking that strong. We're going to be watching VWAP right now. Watch how it reacts around it for the time being. That's going to be very impactful for the stock. Now, for the QQQ, the same thing is going on essentially. You're watching the 20 EMA. If it breaks below VWAP at this 381.6 area, it's going to sink all the way down to about the 50 EMA at 381, then potentially 380, and then 379 and 378. Now it's forming this distributive structure right over here, forming this bearish divergence, getting a big rejection. And we have 382 as our next major support zone. If that fails us, don't forget about VWAP. That's going to be very important. But for now, we're seeing trying to rebound after getting a VWAP bounce. And it's trying to make its way up to this resistance right about here around this 383 area. If it breaks that, there's 383.5 and 384, but I don't really see this pumping insanely hard. I think it's just going to chop around for a bit and maybe even sell off a little bit more later. So watch these levels once again very carefully. I also want to call out NEO because NEO is showing a lot of strength. It's up another 10%. This thing is getting back and forth 10% days again and again and again. There's going to be a big opportunity to play this possibly next week with deliveries coming out. So it's looking very bullish. We're going to be talking more about this later on, though. Looking quite nice. For Nvidia, we're getting a bounce right over here off this 463 zone, this support right about here. And we're going to be watching it testing VWAP right now around this 467 area. If it breaks above it, 468 could come. And this next test around this 468 area is going to be important. We also have 469, this entire zone of lots of chop. Above that, we have 470, then potentially 472, and some pretty nice levels on it. It is trying to test VWAP, though. We have to see if it could break VWAP. We're still waiting for that. As far as support goes, you're going to be watching 466.5. That's our 5 EMA, 465.5, 464. Then we have the 463 zone, followed by, the very low 460s if it breaks below that. For now, we're just watching support and resistance. It is rejecting right now off VWAP. So just be careful and watch our 5 EMA and see how it reacts to 466.5. Finally, when it comes to the market, I think I talked about the majority of the stocks out there, but as far as Tesla goes, we're watching and testing our 20 EMA right now. So that's what it's testing, trying to make its way up to about this 266 area. Tesla's trying, but we're just going to have to wait and see. For now, it's holding up nicely. It did get this pop. The drop was not that significant, not that hard for it. It gained a lot of strength thanks to some bullish news. And I personally can't always predict the news. Sometimes unexpected things can happen, but we did get a pop like we were expecting. That part was correct. The drop was just a little weak, not that strong. And we're going to be watching for the rest of the day to see how the market is doing. Market is still not looking insanely strong overall. Now it's making an attempt to bounce, but still, we need confirmation of higher highs and higher lows. We need to see the trend. So just be careful. So for Tesla, once again, watch resistance, watch support, and we will see how this thing moves. I also want to remind you all that the market could try to gap up on Monday because of Apple's earnings. It's not going to be on Monday specifically, but it's going to be the week of Apple's earnings, and the market may be very optimistic for that. All right, so be prepared for that. Be very careful if you're going to hold short positions overnight, and do what's best for your own portfolios. I'm not giving any financial advice. All right, thank you for listening. Have a good one. Enjoy your trading, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon alongside the whole market. The long term is very bright, and peace out.